Official etiquette, protocol and diplomacy. Etiquette means conventionally accepted rules for formal relations and personal behavior in a polite society. It includes the code of ethical behavior in relation to professional practice or action among members of a profession in dealing with each other. Other words associated with etiquette are decorum, which suggests dignity and a sense of what is appropriate for a person of good breeding, and propriety, which implies established conventions of morals and good taste. Since communication is, essentially, relationship, and includes the activity of establishing and maintaining contact with others, knowledge and practice of rules of etiquette add to a person's effectiveness. Basic etiquette is an important part of presenting a positive image to one's boss, colleagues, clients, customers and acquaintances. A cultivated person is marked by behavior that shows respect and courtesy to everyone, regardless of position. Importance of office etiquette. 1. Good interpersonal relations with fellow staff. 2. Good image of the company. 3. Good image of individual employee. 4. Customer satisfaction. Areas of official etiquette. 1. Personal behavior. It is generally felt that if you cannot be trusted not to embarrass yourself in business and social situations, you may lack the self-control that is necessary to be good at what you do. Greeting. It is customary to greet others on entering, and acknowledge others' greetings either with a smile and a nod or with formal greeting like, good morning, according to the occasion. Good posture is pleasant, and can be developed by keeping both feet firmly on the floor, holding the back straight without slouching, and not crossing the arms either while standing or sitting. Self-composure and a dignified posture make a good impression and project an image of competence. Not being overweight or being in good shape contributes to a presentable appearance. Sneezing or coughing may be unavoidable, but can be dealt with discreetly. If you sense a sneeze or cough or yawn coming on, cover your nose and mouth with a handkerchief in your left hand, so as to leave your right hand clean for shaking hands, opening doors, etc. Burping must be firmly controlled. Hiccups can be avoided by being in good health and taking care of what one eats. Grooming such as combing the hair or applying lipstick should always be done in the privacy of restrooms. Fragrances or perfumes of any kind should be applied sparingly, evoking a subtle scent. Strong and/or cheap fragrance is often offensive and not appropriate in a professional setting. 2. Greetings. The style of greeting varies from country to country. If in mixed religious company, it may be useful to keep to Western-style greetings. When receiving visitors from another country or visiting another country, it is better to find out their style of greeting, both the verbal and the non-verbal gesture that accompanies it. Between persons who know each other very well, it is customary to greet with, hello. How are you? The response is, hello. Quite well, thanks. And you? 3. Making an apology. A simple apology is to say, sorry, or, I'm sorry. A somewhat more formal style is to say, pardon me, or, I beg your pardon. This formal apology is also used if you do not catch or understand what someone says to you, and you wish them to repeat what they said. A formal written apology uses the words, we regret. Requirements and styles of apology vary between cultures. In India, a gestural apology is required if your foot accidentally touches another person. In most Western cultures, an apology is definitely required if you are late and keep someone waiting. Tone of voice and facial expression are important while expressing an apology. 4. Expressing thanks and appreciation. A simple, thanks, is quite informal. Thank you, is slightly more formal. Thank you, James, sounds very sincere. Thank you, Mr. Murthy, or, thank you, sir, is formal. In the USA, many people say, thanks. I appreciate your help, or, thank you. I appreciate it. The tone of voice and facial expression should be appropriate. A written expression is formal. For example, we appreciate your cooperation in. Or, we thank you for your interest in our project. It is important not to sound patronizing while expressing appreciation. 5. Conversation. In conversation, speak in a low voice, with controlled gestures. Make eye contact with the speaker. Show him you understand his talk by nodding your head, maintaining an upright posture, and, if appropriate, putting in an occasional comment such as, "I see," or, "That's interesting," or, "Really?" The speaker will appreciate your interest and feel that you are really listening. It is not polite to interrupt others. Wait and listen politely till they complete what they are saying and speak only when they stop. If by mistake you interrupt, stop at once and apologize. Remember that you represent the company and not just yourself. Divulging company secrets or speaking off the record is not acceptable. The purpose of small talk is to find something in common and create a bond. A good way to do this is to ask people about their interests. Politics is a delicate topic but is of common interest to most people. It need not be avoided so long as no arguments are raised. Business environment, cultural events, sports, are good conversation topics on which one should be well informed. Using slang terms or swearing is not polite even in an informal social situation. People who have to swear to make a point are often perceived as less intelligent. 6. Introducing. Introductions may appear simple, but these are the few moments in which critical first impressions are made on all sides. And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Generally, personal impressions are made within 20 to 30 seconds upon meeting someone. The person making the introduction, and the two persons being introduced, must all be able to do their parts well. Create a warm, happy and cordial atmosphere while introducing. Business introductions. Business introductions are based on hierarchy. A person of lesser authority is introduced to a person of greater authority. When introducing people, help the newly acquainted persons to start and carry on a smooth, friendly flow of conversation. Comment briefly on the background of each. A remark on a hobby or interest common to both helps to get a conversation started. Introducing yourself. If no one introduces you, or if the host or hostess of the function is too busy, just introduce yourself to the other guests. Extend your hand, smile and say, "I'm Hilla Vackel, David's partner." Avoid saying things like, "Mr. Mehta works for me." It sounds arrogant. Instead, say, "Mr. Mehta and I work in the same office." Always use both, your name and surname when introducing yourself. Be clear and concise in your introduction. It is poor manners to narrate your life history, or, worse, your problems or illnesses. At a business function, it is appropriate to say where you work. Take care not to focus too much attention on yourself with grand-sounding statements. At functions that are not strictly business, it is not necessary to give much job information, since many people feel that they are not defined by employment. At a special interest event like environmental protection work, you can mention your connection to the organization that has organized the event. At any business meal, always introduce yourself to the people sitting next to you to open the way for conversation. Not introducing yourself can cost you a valuable business lead because few people want to deal with someone who appears to be aloof or not able to follow the etiquette. 7. Shaking hands. Shaking hands is a formal greeting gesture. Shake hands only when introduced to someone, or on meeting an acquaintance. Hands are not shaken at parting. You do not shake hands with someone you know very well. The physical connection you make when shaking hands with someone can leave a powerful impression. When someone's handshake is unpleasant in any way, we often associate negative character traits with that person. A firm handshake made with direct eye contact sets the stage for a positive encounter. Offer your hand turned, at a 90-degree angle, towards the floor. Don't hold just the fingers or try to crush the other person's hand with an iron grip. To shake hands properly, keep your thumb up and touch webs, the space between your thumb and first finger, before wrapping the fingers around the other person's hand. Ensure your grip is medium to firm, neither limp and weak nor bone-crushing. Men and women are equals in the workplace. Do not wait for a woman to offer her hand to be shaken, rather than automatically extending their hand to her. During cocktails, hold your drink in the left hand so that your right hand is free, and it is not wet and cold from holding a glass. At a conference or other function where participants use name tags, wear the name tag high on the right shoulder so that it is easy to read when shaking hands. 8. Paying compliments. A compliment is an expression of appreciation. If you can, make a complimentary remark on an attractive necktie, scarf, or brief castle handbag, a well-argued case, competent collection of data, a well-planned meal, a well-conducted meeting, a neatly turned-out phrase. It goes a long way in creating goodwill. A compliment should be given at the right time and place, for example, soon after meeting, or before the business begins. It should be given immediately on noticing something or immediately after a praiseworthy accomplishment. Compliments may also be paid during a meeting of after it if someone made a very good point or spoke very well or performed anything very well. NB. A compliment should be moderate, not exaggerated, as that is flattery which is ingenuine. Compliments should have no other motive than to recognize someone for something special. If compliments are given in order to get a compliment or a favor in return, people soon find out the ulterior motive. A compliment should never be sarcastic. Tone of voice and body language must express the appreciation as much as the words. Sarcasm hurts the receiver, and it is not polite. Remarks that could be construed as sexually provocative, racist or sexist should not be made even if the atmosphere is relaxed. It is not polite to ask where they bought it, whatever you appreciate, or how much they paid for it. 9. Responding to compliments. When someone pays you a compliment, acknowledge it and thank the person graciously. A simple "thank you" with an expression reflecting pleasure on the face is sufficient. Don't feel embarrassed or rebuff the compliment saying, "Oh, it's nothing," or "Sorry, I could not do much." 10. Agreeing and disagreeing. Agreeing with someone is easier to express than disagreement. But overdoing it to win goodwill is not sincere. It is sufficient to say cheerfully, "I agree," or "Yes, that seems okay to me," or "Yes, okay," when it is informal. In a formal situation or when speaking to seniors, formal style is better. A remark such as, "Yes, I accept that," or "Yes, I think that is all right," would be sufficient. Agreement must be graceful and cheerful, even if the agreement is conditional. State the condition clearly and say, "I'll agree to that on one condition." Or, "I'll accept that on the condition that." Quote. If you disagree with someone's statement, in a discussion, you may feel tempted to express yourself aggressively. An aggressive response such as, "I don't agree with you," can hurt or irritate those who hear it. Also, an artificially polite statement like, "I beg to differ," is not friendly. It is a put-down. If you are assertive, you can express disagreement without being offensive. When you disagree, instead of not keeping silent or responding aggressively, try positive assertiveness. Listen carefully and summarize what the other person has said, then state your own position, and do it without attacking. It is useful to say something like, "I would like to state another point of view." 11. Telephone etiquette. Your voice is all you have got to make the telephone conversation lively and effective. Clear articulation and correct pronunciation are necessary. But it is not advisable to try to put on an artificial or borrowed accent. Speed of speaking can affect clarity to some extent. Average speaking speed is about 150 words a minute. Talking very fast not only affects clarity, but may also give the impression of being in a hurry. Very slow talkers give the impression of being dull. A high-pitched voice is unpleasant and may appear uncultured. An extremely low pitch can sound mechanical. People who have a loud voice appear to be brash and overbearing. Very soft speakers cannot be heard clearly, and may seem shy. You need to find the right speed, pitch and volume that makes you sound clear and easy to follow. Tone is the expressiveness of the voice. It carries 38% of the load of communication. You have to make it count. A great deal of tone depends on the speaker's attitude and state of mind. Making a call. Prepare in advance before making a call, and plan all questions and comments. Collect all required information, files, papers that may be needed. Have paper and pen at hand. Greet. As soon as the call is answered, return the greeting and identify yourself, and ask for the person to whom you want to speak. Concentrate. Eliminate all distractions and pay attention only to the person you have called. Use simple language. Never use slang. Say yes, not yeah. Take notes. Jot down names, addresses, telephone numbers and other important points which need to be remembered and/or passed on to others and may be needed later. Ask questions. If something is not clear, ask for clarification or explanation and listen carefully. Use conversation cues. Saying, "I see," or "yes," at the proper time shows the speaker that you are listening, and encourages him, her to continue speaking. Listen between the lines. Tone of voice conveys a good deal. Summarize. The main points should be repeated at the end to check the understanding of both parties. End the call politely. Say, "Thank you, for giving you time, or information or help." Indicate the next step, if required. Wish the time of the day pleasantly and replace the receiver gently. The person who made the call should put down the receiver first. Within the organization, the senior should end the call. In case of a call to or from a customer, the customer should end the call. Taking a call. Answer the call promptly, on the first or second ring, not more than 3 in any case. Identify yourself by a phrase like, "Suresh Nair here," or "Suresh speaking," or "National Bank, Kisamu Branch, Suresh Nair speaking," or "Mrs. Philo Pose, Training Officer," and greet "Good morning" or "Good evening" as suitable. This usually prompts the speaker to identify himself, herself. If it does not, ask, "May I know who's calling?" Not, "Who is this?" or "Who is speaking?" Smile when you speak. It helps to make a positive, welcoming impression with the tone of the voice. Listen carefully. It is bad manners to interrupt. Get any clarifications after the person has paused for a response. Take responsibility to help. Connect to the right person, after saying so, or offer to get the required information. Take down a message if necessary. Get all points correct, and check by reading out if it is long or complicated. Check all dates, addresses, figures and spellings of names. Writing down the phonetic spelling for correct pronunciation saves much embarrassment later. Use the caller's name correctly. It shows you are tuned in and attentive. If you have to leave the telephone to get some information, ask if the caller would like to hold on or would like you to call back. And be sure to call back with the information. Keep your cool and be patient with a difficult caller. Cellular phone etiquette. Cell phone should be used only in an emergency. If it is necessary to make or take a call, keep it short and discreet. If other people are present, excuse yourself. Attention to present company is always important. Never give the impression that speaking to someone else is more important than those present. Move to a quiet corner so as not to bother others. Switch off the cell phone when entering a meeting or a lecture hall, also in a theater, or any other public performance. Use a quiet method of call notification like vibrator or flashing light in a hospital or in any place where the ring is likely to cause severe discomfort. Placing someone on hold. There should be a very good reason for placing someone on hold, like pulling out the person's file or answering another line. Ask permission before placing the person on hold and do so only after getting the response. Taking permission for granted is very impolite. Never keep a person on hold for more than 60 seconds. If you find it will take longer, return and explain, and ask, "May I call you back?" And, of course, call back as soon as the other work is done. When you return, thank the person for holding. Leaving a voicemail. While leaving a voicemail message on the answering machine, it is important to include your name, telephone number, and company's name if you are calling on your company's behalf. Spell any unusual name. Repeat your name and telephone number at the end of the message. Specify the purpose of the call instead of just saying, "Please give me a call." Indicate what would be the best time to return your call. If you are likely to be away, say when you will be back or whom to contact in your absence. Anticipate that you may have to leave a message, and prepare what you have to say. This will prevent rambling. NB. The 4 pillars of politeness in conversation are, thank you, excuse me, sorry and please.